Ever crack open a children's textbook and find yourself, like, surprisingly engrossed?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we're doing today. But trust me,
Yeah.
this is going to be way more insightful than just revisiting grade school. You've shared some pages from an elementary data analysis book.
Right.
And we're going deep on how these, like, simple lessons reveal a lot of time about how we process information as adults.
Absolutely.
Like, it's fascinating.
Oh, sorry.
It's fascinating how these basic building blocks,
Yeah.
like, presented in such a straightforward way for kids, really underpin so much of our adult world.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. How we interpret the news, make decisions, even just understand trends, it all goes back to these core concepts of data.
Totally. You know what really struck me?
What's that?
The way this book dives right into tally marks. I mean, we've got kids counting pets, then using the same method to track cars and trucks on the road.
Yeah.
It made me wonder, do you use tally marks for anything these days?
I feel like I subconsciously make them when I'm grocery shopping or something.
It's such an ingrained system.
Right.
And it highlights the brilliance of tally marks as this tool for quick data collection.
Mm-hmm.
But think bigger picture. Researchers use them to track participants. They're the foundation of election counting.
Whoa.
It all starts with those little lines we learn early on.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the counting, right?
Right.
This textbook doesn't shy away from getting these kids to analyze the data, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's this question about whether there are 3 times as many auto rickshaws on the road compared to trucks.
Right.
I was impressed to see that level of thinking encouraged so early on.
Yeah. It subtly introduces the concept of ratios and comparing sets of data without even explicitly using those terms.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that we start interpreting data, often without realizing it, from a very young age.
Yeah.
Think back to your own childhood. I'm sure you were drawing conclusions from the world around you.
Totally.
Just like these kids with their auto rickshaw observations.
It's like laying the groundwork for critical thinking skills that go way beyond just data.
Absolutely.
Speaking of groundwork, the next section totally warmed my heart.
Okay.
It's called Helping Hands
Mm-hmm.
and focuses on kids helping with chores,
Okay.
complete with a colorful chart showing who does what around the house.
Uh-huh.
It took me right back. Did you have any regular chores growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what were your chores?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We all have those formative experiences. And what I appreciate about this section is how it links data to those, like, real-life scenarios kids understand. But there's a subtle shift here, too. We've moved from simple tally marks to a visual representation with this Chapati chart.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
And it makes the data so much more engaging.
Right.
Yeah, instead of just numbers on a page.
Yeah.
You have this bright, colorful chart
Mm-hmm.
that instantly gives you a sense of how many kids help with each chore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It highlights how choosing the right visual representation can completely change how we understand the information.
Yeah.
A pie chart tells a different story than a bar graph.
Totally.
Even if they're built from the same underlying numbers.
It's true.
But the real aha moment in this section comes with the practice time activity.
Right. Where the kids become the data gatherers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Asking their friends about their favorite after-school activities.
It's so good.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
It takes them from passive learners to active participants, which is so key in developing a deeper understanding.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this next section made me laugh out loud.
Okay.
It's called AdMad. And it has these kids analyzing television ads. Counting them up.
Yeah.
Even tracking if children are featured in the commercials.
That's great.
It's like they're mini marketing analysts in the making.
It's brilliant.
I know.
What this section subtly introduces is this idea that we're constantly bombarded with information, and it's up to us to develop those critical thinking skills to process it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
These kids are learning to look beyond the surface and analyze the messages being thrown at them.
Totally.
Right.
And they're doing it through the lens of data, which is pretty impressive for an elementary school textbook.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, get ready for this next chart because it totally blew my mind.
All right.
We're talking exploding rabbit populations.
Oh, wow.
It starts innocently enough
Okay.
with a few cute bunnies, and then bam, they're everywhere.
It's a classic illustration of exponential growth.
Oh.
A concept that pops up in so many areas of life.
Right.
Imagine each pair of rabbits having, say,
Yeah.
4 baby rabbits.
Okay.
And then those baby rabbits grow up and have their own litters. It doesn't take long for the numbers to spiral upwards.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a chain reaction, but with cuteness overload.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we see the same pattern in things like compound interest, the spread of information online.
Right.
Think about a single tweet going viral.
Cool.
Or even in the early adoption phases of a new technology.
Wow, you're right. It's amazing to see how the simple chart about rabbits connects to such diverse examples.
It shows how data literacy goes way beyond just understanding numbers on a page. It's about recognizing patterns, making connections, and applying those insights to different areas of our lives.
It's about connecting the dots.
Exactly.
So from exploding rabbit populations, we move on to family trees. It feels like quite a jump.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued. There's something so powerful about how a simple diagram can represent generations of family history, don't you think? It really is. It's like looking at a visual representation of where you came from, all those connections branching out and intertwining.
And what's interesting is how the book pairs the family tree with the growth chart of a plant.
Oh, okay.
Both involve tracking change over time, but in visually distinct ways.
It's a cool observation that they're subtly highlighting that data can tell a story in so many different forms.
Exactly. The family tree maps relationships and connections across generations,
Right.
while the plant growth chart focuses on a single variable height over a specific time frame.
And yet, they both offer a fascinating glimpse into the past and hint at potential futures.
Right.
With the family tree, you can trace back your lineage, uncover forgotten stories, and even connect with living relatives you never knew you had.
Yeah.
And with the plant growth chart, you can see how much the plant grew each day.
Right.
Maybe even extrapolate that data to predict its eventual height.
Yeah, and that's...
Speaking of predicting the future.
Go on.
There's that intriguing question. At the end of this section, they ask the students to guess how tall the plant will be on the 100th day.
And that's where it gets really interesting. Because in reality, we can't know for sure.
Right.
We can make educated guesses based on the existing data, but there are always unknown variables.
Like sudden changes in weather, resource availability.
Exactly.
Even just variations in the plant's natural growth patterns, right?
Exactly. It's a reminder that data extrapolation has its limits.
Right.
We can use data to make informed decisions, but we should always be aware of the potential for uncertainty and unexpected outcomes.
It's like that old saying, expect the unexpected.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's a valuable lesson we can take from even a simple plant growth chart.
Totally.
It's about embracing the unknown, recognizing the limitations of our knowledge, and being open to adjusting our course as new information emerges.
Wow, we've gone from tally marks to rabbit populations to pondering the mysteries of plant growth, all thanks to this elementary school data analysis book.
Yeah.
It's amazing how these seemingly simple lessons have sparked such a fascinating conversation.
It speaks to the power of foundational knowledge.
Right.
These basic concepts have a ripple effect, influencing how we approach complex issues, analyze information, and navigate the world around us.
It's like they've given us a new lens through which to view the world.
Yeah.
One that highlights the importance of data literacy, critical thinking, and a healthy dose of curiosity.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So the next time you stumble upon a children's book, don't underestimate its wisdom.
Yeah.
You never know what hidden depths you might uncover.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Until next time, keep those minds curious and those questions coming.